Hi, y'all. My name is Shanique with Blavity. How are y'all today?
Hey, how you
Good. How are
doing?
you?
Good.
Great. I'm so excited to speak with you all because I screened the film last night and I was just a bucket of tears.
Oh,
It really tugged on my heartstrings. So I will actually start with you, Aunjanue. Odette is the strong friend personified, but by the end, in what ways do you think she learns to allow the people she loves to show up for her in a way that you hope will resonate with all of the strong friends who will be watching?
Oh.
you know, I don't want to get too heavy about this, but I think it's important because of what we're talking about. I was thinking I have hypertension. I suffer from high blood pressure. And I was thinking about my cousins and my friends and of the circle that I'm in, which includes my family members and my friends, all of us have high blood pressure. All of us have high blood pressure and they're all black women. And I know that that's genetic. I know that that is DNA from, cultural DNA, actually cultural genetic stuff. But I also think it's because the stuff and the weight that we carry. We do it with election. We choose to do it. We love to do it. But, that don't mean it don't weigh on us. And the great thing about this Supreme story, the story between Clarice and Barbara Jean, and this love story between these three women is what Clarice and Barbara Jean do for Odette, and hopefully we do for each other, is they pull her coattails and say, and use the word, I love that word you use, you said permission. They give her permission to be vulnerable.
That's beautiful.
Absolutely, absolutely. I just really love their friendship. It reminds me of my friendship with my like closest girlfriends. And so, for you, Mekhi, what place did you have to go to emotionally to become James? And was there any lesson that you learned from him as it pertains to those vows in sickness and in health?
That's a good question. Well, it's not that I had to learn anything from James. I just had to tap into an area. We all have different gamuts of emotions and different gamuts of ways to express oneself and things that you have learned throughout the course of the years. And what I loved about James was his undying love and loyalty to the woman that he was very focused on. He was very focused on the development of not just her, but him, but them as a unit. And I've had to learn that throughout the years. As young men, especially, well, being specific, especially black men, we're never taught to value ourselves as much as women are taught to value themselves in a lot of ways. So nobody's teaching us the equality over quantity is really the structure and the focus that a
Preach.
man should be on.
That's right.
So that's basically what I wanted to bring to light to as far as James is concerned.
I love that.
Absolutely. And for you, Sanaa, there's a line at the end that Odette says, noting that love was the glue that kept the Supremes together. So, in what ways did Barbara Jean find that unconditional love that she might not have or that she didn't get at home through her friendship with Clarice and Odette?
Yeah, I see Clarice and Odette as her angels. I don't think she would have been alive without them. And yeah, it was a definite. There's those friends that you just meet right away, and it's like you recognize each other from another life. It definitely was that kind of soulmate friendship, and I think it's so beautiful. The story. They're all so incredibly different, and they accept each other wholeheartedly, unconditionally, and through the ages, through all of the ups and downs. I mean, that is a great love story, and I loved playing Barbara Jean, and I loved being in a movie that celebrates this type of friendship because it's a real thing that people have.
Definitely. And then lastly, Russell, before we wrap, my favorite scene in the movie is when Richmond and Odette sit together under the tree, and she tells him that she believes he can be a better man. What would you say was like the significance of that in that moment in the film as it pertains to having unconditional love for a person, even if you don't agree with their actions?
I believe that what Odette is asking Richmond to do is to find the goodness in himself. And I think that Odette is challenging Richmond and saying, I know you have more to give than what you've been giving. And I know you're a better person than what we've witnessed all these years. And at however you get to it, you need to get there. And I think that that was the significance. And, you know, for myself, you realize that everybody has some goodness in them. So it's really just about taking the time to find the goodness that you have inside yourself.
Well, hi, y'all. My name is Shanique, and I'm with Blavity. How are you today?
Great, Shanique.
Amazing. Well, I'm so excited to chat with you all because I screened the film last night and I was just a mess. I was a fucking it's so beautiful. And so, Kyanna, I will actually start with you because in what way would you say that this film showcases the beauty in chosen family that often comes by way of friendships?
Well, I think in this film, like, you really get to see three young girls that are trying to find their way in life. And my character specifically, I mean, Odette, she's the type of person to see someone like Barbara Jean and be like, no. I know you might not recognize this type of energy, but I am here to make sure that you're okay, and we're friends now. And I mean, I've personally had that experience before. When I was like 5 or 6, I remember I had a friend like in elementary school, and they just walked up to me, they pushed me, and I was like, what did you just do that for? And they were like, we're best friends now. And to this day, she and I are best friends.
I love that.
And it was very unconventional, but I feel like that, like, I definitely chose to be her friend after that. But I mean, it's like your family, you're born into that, you know. And whether you have a great relationship with your family is, you know, up to the course of time. But your friends, your sisters, your supremes, that's a relationship that you are able to curate. You're able to nurture in a different way. So yeah, and I think it's just really beautifully told throughout the film.
Of course. And then, you know, for you, Abigail, I also just kind of wanted to know, can you speak to the lens of like sometimes like how we as women put our dreams on the back burner and like how your character is like representative of that, but like has friends who support what she does, like no matter what.
Yeah, I think it's just unfortunately so common, and I think especially back then when like women really felt like they did not have a choice. And so I mean, I think there have been crossroads in my life where I could have chosen to do the same thing, and I knew that even whatever choice I made, my friends were going to be like, we support you no matter what. And also, here are options for you to do both. You know, in this life, you can do both, and you should be able to. And even if I made a decision that maybe they didn't think was the best, like, they'd see me through with it all. If it ever got too crazy, they'd definitely be like, girl, look, I told you back in 2009, you shouldn't have been doing this. But yeah, I think it's definitely a thing that I'm so happy that, like, we even have the privilege of today to be like, you know, women can do both. Like, you know, women will take maternity leave and then come to work. And, you know, it's hard, but it's so doable. Like, we really are super women, and having friends to support you throughout, it takes a village. So, you know, like, let's say with that example, you have someone, okay, I can watch the kid during this shift if you're really busy, or what are you doing this weekend, girl? You need a self-date, like, time off. And so I think Clarice representing that, and you kind of get to see, like, through the film, and when we get to the 90s, how it's affected her. But I love the redemption that she takes her power back and decides, you know what, I made this choice, and even though I stand by my decision, now in this season, I see where I could have done differently, but it's not too late. And having friends, she literally goes and stays at Odette's childhood home. And I think just the beauty, like, the friendship will last forever, and you're always going to have that support.
Absolutely. And you know, just speaking of it taking a village, Tati, with Barbara Jean, you know, in what kind of ways does she kind of find that unconditional love that she might have been longing for and didn't feel at home through her friendship with Clarice and Odette?
I mean, they saved her life. Like, like, it's like, I feel like in Barbara Jean's position, like, to go from a space of like, it doesn't seem that anybody, even the people that are supposed to look out for you, the people that are supposed, like your family, like who you think is like, oh no, that's gonna be there, like to have people come in that like chose her, like in a rough spot too, like it stood up for her, like it's like wow, like I think it opened a whole new world for Barbara Jean, and like that to understand that I can choose my family, I can choose the people that I have around, I can be uplifted in an environment. It doesn't always have to be bad. It doesn't always have to be dragging me down. So I think that for Barbara Jean, it's her community became everything to her. Like that was her saving grace in life. That became her crux. And I feel like us in life, it varies of like, the type of people that do need a community, the type of people that don't. But I think no matter what, every person, you need some semblance of it.
Yeah.
You cannot go through life by yourself. You don't know everything. You can't see everything. Like, and the way that Barbara Jean leans into that and is like, okay, like this is where I'm safe. This is where my guidance is. This is where my heart is. It just speaks very loudly.
Yeah, that was my favorite part of the film, just the friendship and the community drivenness, like of everything. So beautiful, beautiful job, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you so much.
much.
Thank you. Thank you.